Are you considering moving to Cyprus to reduce your overall taxation? Let's discuss it. I can talk with my own experience. I studied a lot of different options and it was like trying to find my perfect spot to go. It was something stressful, but Cyprus checked the majority of things that I was looking for. So first we will talk about taxes, the company system, and also then the different lifestyle considerations. So in terms of taxation, Cyprus has the lowest possible tax in Europe. And this is because on personal level, first, if you have like any kind of investment, you are an investor in stocks, bonds, ETF, also crypto, if you hold it for a period of time, you could achieve a pure 0% taxation. And in the other types of income, it depends on how you structure, but you could achieve an amazing 2.65%, and it's applied to dividends, interest, also foreign salaries. To pay only that, you need like a foreign employer that pays you a salary without withholding on the wages. Or if you form a genuine foreign corporation that doesn't pay tax legally and can distribute dividends or foreign salary without withholding. This, like I said, it's possible in Cyprus, but it has to be studied in your particular situation and how you spend the months, which substance do you have abroad. And Cyprus is becoming one of the places that I'm relocating more people because the tax residency it could be achieved with only 60 days in a year, so it's one of the shortest ones. And also the tax advantages, the non-dom regime that it's called, it applied for 17 years. So it's the longest exemption that a country offers. And also there are countries like in Latin America or also in Eastern Europe, like Bulgaria, that it's a tax regime for all citizens. And maybe 1 year, like there are elections, the government changes everything and you are screwed. So having that protection for a big period of time, I think it's quite valuable. And the only required for that 60 days is basically to be employed or be a director of a Cyprus company and have an available home all the year. So this can be achieved quite easily, and you could apply for this tax residency and maybe then spend the time between 3 countries, but be considered tax residents in Cyprus, that it could achieve like quite amazing things. It's important to say though that this 60-day tax residency it's only applied when you are not staying more than 183 days in another country, because if you do it you will be considered tax residency there and not in Cyprus. But for example, for people that want to stay like only 2 months in Cyprus and then split it like between Spain and Portugal, it could be workable. The easiest way to do it is to form a Cyprus company, that probably you will also need it because you will need it to apply for the tax residency on the 2 month requirement. With the Cyprus company, you will have a corporate taxation of 12.5%, but it's important to say that Cyprus administration is very permissive. You could put quite a lot of business expenses that you will not do it in your home country, like Spain, France, Germany. You can imagine that it's a big difference in terms of the possible deductions you can put here. You could also subtract it on salaries that, despite a lot of people tell you that you need like to pay social contributions, you could structure it that way, especially if you don't stay in Cyprus a lot of time without those social contributions, and you could subtract some part with 0% personal income tax. But obviously the profit that remains on the company will pay that 12.5%. This 12.5% is like the standard rate. But depending on your type of business, you could also create a Cyprus IP box that this applies for businesses that have intellectual property on their operations, like developing original software or creating a unique product, a unique composition or processes. So basically you have to develop something that you can ask for the intellectual property. With this road, you could achieve a 2.5 corporate taxation. I can assure you that this is the lowest possible also in Europe, and with this you will pay 2.5, and then, like I said, on the personal level, if you distribute dividends, you will have to pay this 2.65%, but it's capped. So depending on your overall income, maybe you earn 1 million and you are only paying like 4,700 euros on that 2.65% that I'm telling you. And in case you want the zero corporate taxation, it's more difficult, but it's achievable. But it depends, like I said, on the months that you stay in Cyprus, because you could develop a permanent establishment of the foreign company. You could be deemed as that you're managing the foreign company from Cyprus, and for this reason be considered like a Cyprus resident company, and it needs like a personal consultation to analyze your different variables and see how it can be structured. If it's your first time here, I invite you to subscribe. We talk about international optimization for business owners, digital nomads, investors. There are no exit tax on personal level, there is no wealth tax, gift tax, so quite good on those things. And even if you are a trader and you are quite active, there are no specific requirements on the duration that you have to hold the assets to apply for that 0% capital gain. So it could be a very advantageous place for traders also. And having the tax residence in Cyprus allows you, for example, to receive dividends with a reduction on the withholding in the US part, for example, if you have US companies. Like, because sometimes maybe you want to reduce taxation and you go to Dubai, but in Dubai there is no tax treaty with US and you are screwed, as in US it will tax you a withholding of 50%. So in Cyprus you will reduce that. And in terms of royalties, if you, for example, receive royalties from Google AdSense or Amazon affiliates, it will also remove the withholding on the US side or the Irish side. So as you can see, in terms of taxation can be really good, but then you have to decide if it fits you in terms of what you want in life, as this is something very subjective to every person. But for example, in my case, I looked for a place that it's not extremely far away from Spain, that is where I'm from. It's not amazing in terms of flight connections, but they are developing like some direct flights from Barcelona, and also like you can be in London with direct flights or other places in Europe. So not amazing in terms of flight connection, but it's workable. In terms of the time zone, it also worked well. Another thing that convinced me to move to Cyprus is that it's one of the safest places in Earth. Like the crime rates are really low. People are really calm, like very welcoming, so this was something that I had like a good check. Also another big factor is that people are like bilingual in English and Greek, and a lot of expats are coming. They know also Spanish and other languages, so very good in terms of that. In terms of weather, it's amazing. I will say it's one of the best in Europe. In summer it was quite intense, like August especially, like sleeping all night with air conditioner, but you have at least swimming pool, so you can balance it a little bit. And like I said, it's only required to be 2 months here, so if you want to travel that month, it could be perfectly okay. In terms of the country logistics, the infrastructure, maybe you see some downgrade depending on where you're coming from. Like for example in Barcelona, you could go with the underground everywhere without a car, and here, especially if you don't live like in the centric parts of the biggest cities, you probably will need a car, like at least to have some independence. Like the buses are not great. In terms of internet, fiber, it's pretty much all over the country now. And the cost of living, it depends obviously on the part of Cyprus. Like Limassol, it's quite expensive, like Berlin or those type of places, but if you look like Larnaca, Paphos and around those places, you could find still some average cost of living, like would say Spain or Italy, like South Europe. And I'm seeing quite different type of people that are coming here, like young people, couples, people that are having kids and they are thinking like, okay, where I can grow the family with a place that the kids can learn English and there are international schools. Or also like retirees. Cyprus is also the best place in Europe to receive like a pension. So like I said, different types of people that I'm helping to come here, but you have to like the island lifestyle. You depends also a lot on the part of the island you are. For example, in Naya Napa there is a lot of party, like from late May to beginning of October, so quite a long season, but then it's quite dead. And for example, Limassol, it's more livable all year round. So depends on what you want. It also depends quite a lot. The heat on the summer, for example, in Nicosia, it's horrible. It's the worst that I experienced. In terms of medical care, here in Cyprus is quite good. Like the ratio between population and doctors for people, it's like one of the best in Europe. So the waiting times are not long. They are very good training. And for example, last summer I had like an injury in the leg and I had to go, and the experience was good. And from what I've known from other friends, like overall the experience is quite okay. Not like in Spain that I've known people like with waiting times of months and really bad situation. In terms of food, it's quite okay, but I will say it's worse than in Spain, but difficult to beat, I will say. So similar to Greek cuisine, and obviously you have also a variety of type of restaurants. So like I said, it could be a very good option for the specific type of person. So if you're interested in moving here to create a company, to structure all of your business, your income, to optimize your taxation, you can book me a call. I will put the link here in the description and also in the first comment. And like I said, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of content in Cyprus and other places that you could consider to move. And I hope to see you in the next videos. Bye!